Okay. Hi, Michelle. It's really nice to meet you.
Hello.
I'm Sarah Wynn, and I'm the CEO of Unique. And I thought it'd be a lovely opportunity to talk to you about what life with Valentino was really like. So,
Yeah.
first of all, I just wanted you to tell us a little bit about how Valentino's rare chromosome disorder has affected him, and a little bit about Valentino himself.
Valentino is a lovely, gentle, spirited little boy. He's the sweetest thing. Um, but he is very affected by his chromosome deletion. So the features that, are described in the leaflets with his particular chromosome deletion are on the severe end. He's non-verbal. And I say non-verbal because, he doesn't make any sort of any any kind of sense of linguistics, or, he can't even sound any sort of words or anything like that. The noise that he makes all the time is gig, 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 and that's it. So I don't know. People say, oh, you never know, they might speak. I just personally don't really think he's able to. But that's, one of the things. He's autistic, and has ADHD. These, these are all things that are on the guide as well that we referred to when we found out he had a chromosome deletion. And he has learning disabilities as well. Um,
Michelle, maybe you
yeah.
could tell us how old Valentino is now.
Valentino is coming up to 8 years old. He'll be 8 in August. And we found out that he had a chromosome deletion because, he was genetically tested because he had cancer as a baby. So part of the testing for his cancer was genetic. And that's when, we found out a little bit later on that he had a chromosome deletion. The particular one that he has is called 15q13.3. And it can be very mild in people. And, I think there's 50% of children that have it aren't even affected by it. So, that was something we were told when we were looking into his deletion and we found out about it. But it turns out that, yeah, unfortunately, he does have it on the severe end.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things about chromosome deletions, duplications, and gene changes is that the variety can be huge. There's a
Yeah.
spectrum of how people are affected, and that can be really difficult when you first get a diagnosis because you don't really
Yeah.
know what's going to come in the future or what to expect.
It's a double-edged sword in a way, because you were so grateful to find out this information. I mean, information is, you need as much information as you can when your child has additional needs, and you want to know every single little thing about them so you can understand them better and help them,
Yeah,
in this world. But it's also really hard when you first find out, I think. I mean, personally for us, we found it a really, really hard thing to get our heads around. And it was a shock, and it took a lot of adjustment, and it put us through the mill. It was a sort of fearful thing, and, it was all new to us. Valentino obviously was very young when we found out the news that he had this chromosome deletion. He was just a baby. So, we were sort of watching his progress and seeing, him not reach any of the milestones that. So we did understand that at least we had that, and we didn't feel like we were going crackers. I mean, I know so many
yeah,
people, they don't have the opportunity to have this genetic testing, and therefore they don't know. They just assume that they might have autism or this or that. But, we were very lucky to find that out. But like I say, with that luck of finding out, it's also incredibly difficult to get your head around and
yeah.
accept. It's an
Yeah,
acceptance thing.
it is, and that often takes a little while to move from the sort of shock and
Yes.
um, unexpectedness of it into that acceptance.
Yeah, it
Um,
takes a while. It takes a while. And you go through a range of things. It's really difficult. You go through a range of struggles and emotions as a parent, and fears. And I don't think you can really underestimate that journey, from first finding out to, understanding more about it. and to accepting it. It's a journey. It really is. And it shouldn't be underestimated because it's incredibly difficult.
Yeah, and that's, I think, what we hope Unique can do is help provide other people who understand that
Yeah.
journey you're on, even if their children have different genetic conditions. That journey
Yeah.
is a similar one for lots of parents.
Yeah, that's
Um,
right.
so, Michelle, my next question was going to be, and you've touched on this a bit already, what has been the most challenging aspects of having a child with a rare chromosome disorder?
I think obviously it's the disability side of these disabilities, um, and also the fears that come with that. It's not just the challenging behaviour and the complex needs and the way you live your life from day to day. It's exhausting. It's really difficult. I know a lot of other parents will find that their children have terrible sleep patterns, and crazy sleep patterns, and that affects you. And it's the day to day of all of these needs that the child has. And, if they're autistic as well and non-verbal, it's the frustration, their frustration. Of not being able to communicate. And I think that it's their odd behavior and you can't do the things that you used to do. And, if you wanted to go out with certain friends that you used to sort of easily go out with your other kids, it's a whole thing. You don't want your child to run away. Our son runs away all the time and it's just a nightmare trying to keep him safe. He has, very little awareness of danger at all. So it's all these things that are your day to day. And then, of course, you have, the fears of the future, which is constantly kind of on your mind, and you try and put it back because you've got to get through the day. But it's always there. And I think that that's really difficult as well. Just, trying to project into the future and wondering how they're going to be when they reach adulthood, and how these challenges that they have, how that's going to be, and what to do and how you're going to manage them as they're older. And, what you shouldn't think about things like this, but you do. You think about what happens when you're gone.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't think that, there is support out there for disability, but I think that Children's Services and Disability has been way down on the list, and it's diabolical how you try to get help and you have to fight for absolutely everything. It's not made easy at all, and you end up fighting for what actually is a right for your child, absolutely fighting tooth and nail to be able to get small little things for your child and help and support. So that's ongoing as well.
Yeah,
That's the downside. It really is. It's very tough.
I think lots of our families will share your experiences there. But I thought at the beginning, you said about Valentino being the sweetest, most full of joy little boy. So perhaps you could tell us a little bit more about what are the rewarding aspects of parenting Valentino.
Well, I think one of the most rewarding qualities of Valentino is that, he is gentle, sweet. He's a good boy. He has his crazy little funny little ways of seeing the world, but he loves music and he loves dancing. Well, he tries to dance. You have to sort of think, well, what's he doing there? Oh, he is dancing, he's running up and down the room. But he loves music and he loves dance, and he just has these huge big eyes that you fall into, and he just stares up at you all the time and, is just so loving. He's a loving little boy. And, there's milestones that you do reach, and they may be not on the, normal milestones, but any little milestones that your son reaches in baby steps is huge for a special needs parent,
and something to celebrate,
and something to really celebrate. We get so excited by the little things that he manages to do and does. And he's recently learned to swim. His dad has taught him how to swim. Valentino is very physically agile. He climbs absolutely everything and does, get himself into dangerous situations sometimes if he's not watched. but he is, you know, a little swimmer now, and he has no fear of the water at all. So he dives and he's just like a fish, you know. These are all amazing things that he can do. And, you know, he makes me laugh the way he gets his own way with me sometimes, you know, and how he can manipulate the situation so get what he wants, you know, because he's so charming. He just has this little smile, and he'll play you, you know, he knows what he's doing in a lot of ways. So
He's smart.
yeah, he's so much fun. He's a lovely little boy, and he loves tickles, and he loves playing hide and seek, you know, with his brothers as well. And, you know, he's just a great little boy.
He sounds adorable.
He's a joy. Yeah, he is a joy, and everybody loves him. You know, he's got a lot of affection for people, and he's also picks up on vibes. You know, I really feel that with Valentino. He feels people's vibes, and he will decide immediately, you know, pretty much if he likes you or not. You know, he's very much like that.
A good judge of character.
He is a good judge of character, and if someone isn't paying him much attention, then he will cut you dead, you know. As soon as they are, he's your friend, you know. He's a good boy.
He sounds so lovely. So you've talked a bit about this new journey that you've been on with Valentino. Maybe you could say a little bit about how Unique has been there to help and support you on that journey.
I think I spoke to Unique first when I was in the midst of going through quite a hard time with understanding everything that was happening with Valentino, understanding him, trying to get my head around it, and also, you know, preparing for this new life, this new world that I was in, that I didn't feel like I wanted to be in. And, you know, felt angry that I was in. And I felt angry that my little boy had all these things, you know, additional needs and complex, you know, health problems and whatnot. And I talked to Unique quite early on, and I found that they were so supportive and kept referring me back to the guides. I spoke with them, and I think that I was in a place where I was a little bit too angry and upset to take any advice at that particular point. And, you know, the advice that Unique gave me was kind of falling on deaf ears a little bit at that particular time. I rang Unique again a little bit further into my journey, and I found then that that's when I was helped the most, because I was ready to hear it. You know what I mean? You've got to be in a place where you're ready to sort of hear it and hear advice, and otherwise you're not really listening. But their service was advising, and you know, I got help with letters to write to DLA, you know, and I got advice, more advice about the chromosome deletion, and time, you know, to sort of go through that with me properly so I could try to understand it a little bit more. And then also the service that's offered to match you up with other people whose children have the same genetic deletion or mutation or addition or whatever as you do, which is an incredible thing. I've got to say I haven't used it yet, but I plan to, and I'm looking forward to that, to kind of just seeing other people out there, because it's rare what my son has, that there are other people out there whose children have exactly the same as him. So it's quite, you know, amazing. It's overwhelming almost to think that I can talk to them.
Yeah.
Thanks to Unique, I can do that.
Yeah, and I think it's important to remember that all the things that are on offer for whenever you need them, and that will be at a different time for different people. And it often does take a while to join Unique or contact us or contact other families.
I think so. I think that Unique are experts in knowing that about their parents as well. They understand that there is a journey to go on, and you could be at any stage of that particular journey, you know. And that's what's important, is that they don't overload you. You know, you get given the right advice at the right kind of time, and then it's something you go back to as well. I mean, I felt like I wanted to go back to Unique and ask more questions, and I felt that it was a very important and good service for my son. You know, it's helped me in so many ways to understand him better. So yeah, it's been so helpful.
That's good to hear. And my final question is, what advice
Yeah.
would you pass on to any parents who've just received a diagnosis of a rare chromosome or gene disorder?
I would say, you know, first of all, I know how hard it is. I know how difficult this is, and I know that they're probably feeling a million different things, and all of those things and emotions that they're feeling are okay, they're normal. But my advice would be is that you just have to feel all these things, unfortunately, and go through this. But it will get better. I mean, you grow along with your child and you learn day by day. And, you know, it does get better. I was told that when I was on my journey with it, you know, and I did take it really badly. I really struggled with it at first. And I didn't really want to hear anybody give me advice. I just thought, well, you know, you probably, your child isn't severe needs like mine, or I'm not like you. I don't feel like that, you know. But the only thing is that it is true, and I wish that I had listened to other people that were advising me a bit more, who were telling me that it would get better, because it does, and you get stronger and you get wiser, and you will pull out stops that you didn't think you could do, and you will become somebody that is good enough to cope with this and to deal with it. But you've got to believe that even on your darkest days, it's hard. It's a tough journey, really is. And I would say also to really try and use Unique as much as you can. And you know, even if you're in that beginning of the journey, it's tough, but really try to use Unique, because it's a fantastic service and it will give you a lot. Yeah.
Great. Thanks so much, Michelle.
That's all right.